Intervju Radia Študent.
Lep pozdrav vsem skupaj. Tako kot je bilo napovedovano tekom dneva, imamo v današnjem RŠ intervjuju posebno gostjo, namreč aktivistko z imenom Kaori, ki je predstavnica, let me see your t-shirt, No G8 Action Japan skupine. Kot ste verjetno že slišali, letošnji G8 summit se bo odvijal na otoku Hokkaido in sicer 7., 8. in pa 9. julija. Tako da, evo, aktivisti iz Japonske že potujejo po Evropi in pač, bom rekel, temu lobirajo, osveščajo, skratka, zbirajo situacije, poskušajo spostaviti neko to mrežo da bi lahko prišlo tudi od tukaj čim več ljudi na Japonsko. Kaori, welcome to the studio. Thanks for coming here, for devoting the next 20 minutes to the issue of G8 Summit in Japan this year.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. My name is Kaori and I come from Tokyo, Japan. And I'm really excited to be here in Ljubljana, Slovenia.
Thank you. And but you visited already many places in Europe, and you are touring also from Slovenia. You came today and leaving tomorrow.
Yes, it's a crazy schedule. I started my tour on February 28th from actually Copenhagen, Denmark. And then I traveled south through German cities and also went to Poland, one city in Poland. And then, so traveling south through Czech Republic and Vienna, Austria, and then to Greece. And now I'm here in Ljubljana. It's crazy, and I have to go to other cities as well.
Which ones?
I go to 4 Italian cities, and then on to Spain. And then actually I have to go up to Scandinavia again and do Sweden and Norway, and then I'm done.
Are you alone?
For the most part, but there are other people touring right now in other parts of Europe. So we split up into two groups to cover more cities.
To cover more cities. Yes. Europe is the focus, or are there also on other continents?
Right. Well, our
activists from Japan, yeah.
Sure. We've also toured, not me, but other people from the group have toured the United States, well, North America, and Asia. Countries like the Philippines, Hong Kong, Korea, and Indonesia. I think someone is going to tour Indonesia very soon. So actually, it's all over the world that we're touring.
Is there, for example, regarding your trip, is there much interest? I can imagine in Greece there is, but like, if you can give us an overall idea, are people interested? Will they come? Can they afford to come? And if so, who can they contact, etc.?
Okay. There is much interest, and people do from Europe, from this tour, have been expressing that they would really like to go to Japan to participate in the protests against the G8 Japan this July. But of course, we are aware as well that it's very not only far away, but it's expensive. Yes, to fly there, it would be relatively expensive, but we hear of this caravan that will use this Trans-Siberian train. We hear that that's pretty much like reasonable when compared to airplane.
You mean the cost?
Yes, the cost.
Otherwise, you have to spend, I think, 3 weeks on this train with a lot of vodka. You understand?
Yes,
you might lose some people.
Yeah, that's part of the tour, I think.
But nevertheless, the one thing that is probably on everybody's mind of the people who want to go to Japan and will go is the question of the security repressive apparatus. For example, when there is G8 in Europe, or in inside European Union, there are no borders per se, but borders are reinstituted once there is a G8 summit, for example, in, I don't know, Germany, Italy, etc. And it is a problem if you have some sort of a police file, meaning that you were arrested at some demonstration, regardless for what you were arrested, you are suddenly not allowed to that country. What about Japan? I mean, for once, it's an island, so...
Right, yes. Actually, there's one thing I would like to point out about the immigration system. For every activist, I guess, that would come to the protest, I think the most concern would be entry, of course. And Japan has, since last November, introduced or employed this immigration system called the U.S. visit, and which is very bad. The name is not good, but the U.S. That's because it was created in the USA for anti-terrorism reasons.
Okay.
And well, basically, to make a long story short, every foreign national who enters Japan is fingerprinted and at the airport. At the immigration, and also taking a photo, portrait.
Biometrical data.
Well, not DNA yet.
Yes. Not yet.
Maybe that will happen, but for now it's only fingerprints and just the photo, maybe like the pupil thing. But so it's a very, very discriminative, bad system. And bigger human rights groups such as Amnesty International have been criticizing this system, and it's very important to have outside criticism on this system because it's very discriminative and racist in a way, to ease the tension at the borders, actually.
Which will, of course, be also used now when the activists from all over the world pour in July into Japan, in Hokkaido. Is there any advice that you would like to give them? For example, if we go to some country here in Europe, we say, oh no, we are going to that movie festival. Are you nuts? What kind of protests are you talking about? What kind of advice do you have any?
Okay, I guess, yeah, you could just say you're here, here for sightseeing, tourism. And if they say, if they are suspicious about this, then you can say that you are visiting as a student to attend this film festival or something. And if that's basically the thing to say, I guess. You wouldn't really mention that you are there for the protests.
Which web pages, for example, can be used that you have as to help people who will come to Hokkaido? For example, if I come, I don't know anybody. I just don't want to turn up on that day on the street.
Right. Okay. My group, No G8 Action Japan, has a website, and which will upload English information in English or possibly multi-language on our website, which is okay. I don't have the exact web address.
No. We will. I'm sure that our listeners do know this. That we will put when we put the interview onto our webpage, which we do. We will also put the links.
Good, thank you. So it's No G8 Action Japan website that will have all these information about traveling in Japan and also about legal procedure, legal advice, and also information about police behavior in Japan. So I hope that will be helpful and also about the location of information points, like convergence centers that will be placed in major cities like Tokyo, and the second biggest city, Osaka. The third, it's Kyoto, and also up in Hokkaido, where the northern islands where the G8 will be. The main city is Sapporo. So information points will be placed there, and all this information will be on the No G8 Action website,
which we will post the link to it. No, thank you. But what I wanted to point out also, what about the commodities for sleeping, for example, for staying like a week or two?
Okay, we are also actually I will be involved personally with the camping organization when I go back to Japan. And we are planning to build a camp for activists with cheap accommodation and very cheap food in the main city of Hokkaido, the northern island called Sapporo. The city is called Sapporo.